it's Elena, and today I'll share with you guys my tips for motivating yourself to study. I know that winter break is coming to a close very soon for many of you guys, and maybe you've already finished all your work, that's great, but if you haven't gotten yourself motivated enough to even start it, then those tips are for you so that you can get all your work done. My first tip is to make a list of your goals or a vision board, whatever helps you best, and to use that as a motivation for studying. So what I did is I wrote a list of my long and short term goals, and I put that up on my desk, and whenever I get bored and stuff and I just start to look around, then I also look at that list and I'm like, oh wait, I have a very good reason for studying, so I should keep studying. And I personally find that really helpful because it just gives you a bigger purpose while studying, and I think that gives you a good reason to study even if you, for example, don't like your subject or you just think this part of the syllabus is completely irrelevant for the rest of your life. But I do think when you have a good purpose for doing it anyway, it just helps a lot. You can also map out your life and just write down what you want to have achieved by a certain age if you find that more helpful. Put down your goals in some way so that you know why you're studying. I think one of the key things about starting to study is that you actually know what you have to do, because if you just think of all the things that you have to do in your winter break, it's going to be this huge chunk of work that's kind of undefined and you don't really know where to get started, and it just seems so massive that you just don't know how to tackle it. So what I'd recommend is to write a to-do list for your day the evening before, because then you wake up and you already know what you should be doing, and you should make that list very specific. So for example, don't write down, okay, I'm going to work on criminal law. That is very general, okay? The course is quite long and you can't do all of that in a day. So instead, for example, write down criminal law supervision for readings 1 to 10. That is a very specific goal that you should be doing, and it's very achievable and you know exactly what you should be doing. And I think that's why it's really important to be very specific with your to-do list. Also, I wouldn't stop at making a to-do list. Also, schedule these tasks in. Open up your calendar and then allocate a specific time slot to these tasks, so that you know when you should be doing what. Give your day some structure. When you have a structure and you know when to do what, it's so much easier to get started because you already have a plan mapped out for you. If you guys want to know more about how I schedule my tasks into my calendar, I made a video about time management which you can find up here, and there I also showed my calendar. My next tip is to tidy up your study space before you even start, because if you have a desk where there's like clothes lying around and just all the stuff on it, and you don't actually even have space to study, you're not going to be motivated to even start studying. So I would recommend tidying up your study space before you even think about starting to study. I have a desk in my dorm room and I always keep it tidy because I think for me this is the most important thing when I need to motivate myself to study, that it's really easy to just sit down and start. If I have to clean up my desk before even doing it and this takes like an hour, then I personally wouldn't be motivated to even start it. My next tip is again something that you should do before you even start studying, and that is getting all the things that you need to study ready. And now I'm not talking about things like your pen or something like that. That's something very obvious. But for example, in university, very often we get readings that we don't actually already have. So for example, they tell you, oh, you need to read like 5 pages from this book. So obviously you're not going to go and buy the book. Instead, you go to the library, you check it out, and you take it with you. And I think it's just really important that you have all these readings and things ready, so that you don't start studying, you realize, oh my god, I don't actually have all the material, and then you go on a 3-hour search for that one book, and then you wasted your study time. I think one of the key reasons why people don't get motivated enough to study is that they're just distracted by other things. And I think one of the main distractions in today's world is obviously our phone. Now I use an app called Forest, where basically you open it up and then you click on how much time you want to stay off your phone. Say you say 25 minutes, and then you click on start and it starts planting a little tree, and if you go off the app then the tree dies. And I don't know, but for me it's just like, I don't want to kill a tree, so I just stay off my phone for that time. And for me this is really helpful. I like Forest because it also shows you how much productive time you've had, because it grows the little tree and then it's put into your forest. And maybe this sounds really silly to you, but I found the app really helpful to stay off my phone for a long time. The other thing that I did to stay off my phone is I turned my entire phone to grayscale. So it looks super retro now because everything is just black and white. The reason I did this is because social media and basically anything I did on my phone needs color. Otherwise it's just not very attractive, You may think that black and white filter on Instagram is really cool, but if your entire phone is on a black and white filter, it's just less attractive, honestly. If you guys want to know how to turn your iPhone to grayscale, the instructions are in the info box. My next tip for putting yourself in the right mindset for studying is to find a good background noise that facilitates studying for you. Now, this can be very, very different from person to person. Some people prefer to sit in a coffee shop and study there. Other people need a completely quiet library, and other people can listen to some music. Personally, I prefer to listen to some classical music that is quite quick, because I realize that the quicker the music, the quicker I'm writing. I don't know if that's true for other people, but for me it just makes me much more efficient. So I like to listen to that, or I study in complete silence. I know I can't listen to anything where someone is, you know, saying something in the song. No matter the language, I'll just really get distracted by it. So I can only have instruments playing in the background, and at best it'd be quick because then I'm writing quicker. But, you know, depending on what kind of study type you are, you might need a coffee shop or you might need complete silence. So I recommend, you know, thinking about what makes you the most productive and then creating that background noise, that kind of environment, so that you can then study. I know that many people study in their room, and very often your desk is quite close to your bed, and I know that it can be very, very tempting to just lie down on your bed for a little bit, and we all know we're not going to get up again. So what I recommend doing is, I recommend thinking about whether it's realistic for you that you're going to stay on your desk and not go to your bed. But if you know yourself and you know that you're this kind of person who just will wander off to their bed and, you know, lie down instead of studying, change the room. Go to the living room, study there, or go to a library and study there. If you know you can't resist the urge to, you know, lie down and, you know, just chill for a bit, then go somewhere else where you just can't do that. Because I think one of the key reasons why, you know, even when we get ourselves into the mindset for studying and while we then stop, is that we think, oh, I could just, you know, chill for a little while, and that little while turns into a few hours, and then our study mindset is gone. Now, my next tip may seem a little bit weird to you, but this has really helped me a lot, and that is to dress like you would on a normal day where you would go out. So personally, I cannot really focus in, like, you know, my PJs or very, very comfortable clothing, which I wouldn't go out in, because my mind just thinks, okay, so we're wearing this really, really comfortable clothing, so we're not going out today, we're just chilling and we don't need to be focusing. So for me, it just helps to, you know, put on some jeans and, you know, like a t-shirt and a few accessories, and just feel like I could walk out of the door and, you know, meet some friends now, and whatever. And for me, this just puts my mind in the right place. But this may differ from person to person. Some people may actually be more comfortable studying in more comfortable clothing. It really, really depends. But if you haven't tried this out, I would highly recommend it, because it can really change a lot if your mind just thinks, okay, I'm in work mode. Like, just put on some clothes that you would wear to school, and it's already easier to start studying. My next tip is more a tip for, you know, the time after school when you're coming home, and that is we usually are quite exhausted after that. And I know it's really, really tempting to, you know, just sit down and, you know, watch a few YouTube videos or whatever, or lie down on your bed, but don't do it. Because we all had these days where, you know, we came home, we were kind of exhausted, we lied down, and then we got up again at like 6 p.m. and then we don't really have a lot of time to study anymore. So what I recommend doing instead is to, you know, make yourself a cup of tea, drink a little bit in a book that you're reading for fun, or even go out and take a walk for like 5 to 10 minutes. It puts your mind in a good place, and it doesn't put you in that sleepy and, you know, not working mode, which lying down or sitting down and doing nothing will do. Now, my last tip is for when you're already studying and you're starting to lose focus. I would recommend trying out some breathing techniques. Personally, I never believed into breathing techniques until I entered 12th grade, and my school had a talk on it, and they made us try it like right there on the spot, and I was like, well, fine, I have nothing to lose, I might as well just, you know, focus on my breathing for now. And I just found that so good and so helpful, and I actually used this technique in my final exams quite a lot, because we had quite long finals, and so, you know, when you're on your like third essay and it's already been over 2 hours in that exam hall, just, you know, sitting back for like 20 seconds focusing on your breathing, it's not going to lose you a lot of exam time, but it increases your focus quite a lot, and you can also just do that at home. If you guys want to have some introductory breathing techniques and you know how to do them, I wrote down a few and you can check them out in the info box. I find them really helpful, and I would just recommend trying it out. If it works for you, it can be very helpful, and it can really increase your focus quite a lot. And yeah, those are my tips for motivating yourself to study and staying motivated while studying. I hope you're all having a productive but very enjoyable winter break, and I will be doing vlogs about my life here at Cambridge college very soon again, as soon as term starts, but there's still quite a few days left and mock exams are coming first. But I am really looking forward to the next term. And so yeah, I hope you guys found this video helpful, and I hope that you're all having a productive but very enjoyable winter break. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye!